Hey guys, it's Cheyenne. How are you guys doing today? So, we are here for part two of our 3-day series on meal planning and meal prepping. So, yesterday we spoke about what exactly was meal planning. What does that entail? How do we do it? What are some tips and tricks? And I wanted to know if you guys had any questions on that. Because if you do, obviously this would be a great time to ask it because we're just going to keep building from that point. So if you do have any questions, write it in the comments, send me an email, send me a message, and I'll be able to answer you. So now today's video, we're going to be talking about the different food groups and why they're important for you. So this is something that you're going to hear a lot of different people have a lot of different opinions. And I'm going to start by saying I am not a nutritionist. This is all information that I got either from doing my own research or from following certain programs and looking into it from there. So I'm going to talk about a few food groups, very high level. I'm not going to go too much into detail, but at least it's going to give you an overview of what exactly you should be looking for when it comes to different food groups and how you should be planning your meals to make sure that you're including these food groups in your meals for the week. So first, I hope you guys have your pen and paper because there are going to be a lot of nuggets in this and you will want to take some notes so that you make sure that you have everything for when you actually do your own meal planning with the guide that I provided to you. So the first thing that I want to talk about are fruits. So fruits, we all know it's important to have fruits. Yes, it is. But it's not just because they taste good. Fruits give you a lot of vitamins, like different fruits give you different vitamins, right? But they also give you like these healthy sugars that you can absorb in your body or that you can use for energy. So it serves like those dual purposes. So it gives you vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin C, all that kind of stuff, or it gives you energy that you can use throughout the day or that you're going to store for later. Okay. So this is why it's important to have fruits in your system. But the thing that I want you to be careful is that since fruits does have a lot of sugars, you want to make sure that if you're like, let's say if your overall goal is to lose weight, you don't want to have too many fruits because obviously this is sugars. And if you have too much sugars, then that can stay on your body and then you won't end up actually losing weight, right? So you want to be careful of how many sugars that you're having, so how many fruits that you're having in your day. And if you need help with like figuring out exactly how many you should have, reach out to me and I'll be able to help you figure it out in some way, shape, or form. So fruits would be the first category that you want to think about. And with those guys, I would tell you that would be like a really good snack to have, or it can be like a little dessert that you give yourself after one of your meals that you're going to be planning out. Then the next one after that would be vegetables. Obviously, when we talk about fruits, we talk about vegetables. Vegetables is also another good thing. Number one, because it gives you also different kind of vitamins. So you have vitamin K, there's vitamin D. There's so many different vitamins in your vegetables. However, vegetables is also really good because there's not only vitamins in your vegetables, but there's a whole bunch of other nutrients. So let's say if you have things like spinach. Well, spinach is a good vegetable for you to have, not only for the vitamin that it gives you, but also for the, how would I call it? Also for the nutritional, like the nutritional benefits that it brings you. Something else like having green peppers. So pretty much any vegetable that's green, well, they're going to have chlorophyll in there. Chlorophyll does something for your body, which is, I'm not going to go into detail, but yeah, you could look into that if you want, but it helps reduce toxins and all that kind of stuff. So vegetables brings two different things to your system. It brings you your vitamins, but it also brings you other nutrients that can help your system. And it also keeps you full, and they're usually really low in calories. So with vegetables, you want to make sure that you have a lot of vegetables because they're going to help keep you full and they're not going to, damage the waistline, you can say. Another thing that you want to think about are carbs. Guys, I know that there's a lot of theories out there on the no carb, low carb, high fat. There's so many different things out there. Me personally, I do believe that you need to have a balance with everything. And by completely eliminating something, you're kind of asking for, that situation where you're, tempted with it, and then you might just end up binging, which in the end you don't want that, which is why I'm all about like the whole moderation thing. But I think you shouldn't cut any of the major food groups from your system because they're there for a reason, right? With the carbs, that's sugars. Now, you want to make sure that you're having healthy carbs. You don't want to have the white starchy carbs that are just going to give you like an energy spike and then you're going to crash. So let's say like white rice, white potatoes, those are the things that you kind of want to stay away from. And if you're going to have rice, well, then you want to have brown rice. If you're going to have potatoes, you'll want to have sweet potatoes because there's going to be a lot of nutrients in there. There's going to be a lot of vitamins in there, and it's a healthy carb. So it's a healthy sugar. You also want to make sure that you're having like a right portion of carbs, because that is one thing that I know in my case, my portions of carb was not good. Like before I actually started portioning out my food using my portion containers, my portions were not good. I was eating way too many carbs. I wasn't eating enough vegetables. I wasn't having enough protein. Like there's that balance that you need to have. And at least in my case, when I thought I was eating healthy because I was eating healthier foods, I wasn't eating in the right portion. And then that was going against my goal, which at that point was to lose weight. So yeah, you want to make sure that you're going to have nice, nutritious, healthy carbs that are going to give you healthy sugars that your body's either going to use at that point in time, right when you're having it, or it's going to store it for when you actually need it later. Because that's really what our body does when it comes to foods. Like we use what we need and then we store it for later. That's why you also want to make sure that you're eating pretty frequently. That's why in the guide I said to eat every 2 to 3 hours, because you want to get that metabolism going. And you also don't want your body to hold on to the food and go into starvation mode because it doesn't know when it's going to get more food, right? So that is what's important with carbs. I spoke about the portions already. So yeah, you just want to be careful. I'm going to talk about, like, let's say if we look at a plate, what your sizing should be on the plate. But yeah, you just want to be careful for the portion of carbs that you're having. Then I want to talk about protein. Protein is something that, a lot of people, they're like, oh yeah, protein, let me just go buy protein. Protein is actually one of the easiest things that you can eat in food because there's so many options. If you're vegan, there's options. If you're vegetarian, there's options. If you eat meat, well, you got all the options possible. So that is actually something that, like a lot of people say, oh, just get a protein shake and you'll be fine. Unless you're someone that's looking to actually bulk up and you need like a lot of protein where you're like, I don't even think I could eat all this food, and you find a clean protein, that is something that I would suggest that you look to absorb by actually eating it and not drinking it. And protein, why it's important for you is that it's going to help to nourish and restore and rebuild and repair your muscles. It also helps with like other things in your body, but like really your muscles is like the main thing. So you want to make sure that you're having proteins throughout your day. So if you're thinking of a plate, you would like to have half of your plate to be your vegetables. So let's say your plate's like a circle. You want half of your plate to be your vegetables, and then you want a quarter of your plate to be your protein and another quarter of your plate to be your carbs. And then if you're going to have a fruit or something, it's going to be on the side. It's obviously not going to be in the plate. And that would be a balanced plate, you can say. Now, another thing, there's other food categories like healthy fats. Healthy fats is something that's really good to have, like avocado or hummus. And the reason why it's really good to have them is because they give you omega-3s, which is really good for your brain function. So this is why it's good to have healthy fats. But the only problem with that is that you actually don't need a lot. And let's say if you're thinking about an avocado, a lot of people can easily just have an entire avocado to themselves. But that is more than just one portion of avocado. And since we don't need a lot, like I know in my case, I only need 2 portions of healthy fats throughout the day. And that's technically only a half of an avocado. So you just want to be careful for the healthy fats. It is good to have them. But you want to be careful for how much that you're actually taking in, right? So that would be when it comes to the different food groups that you have. Now, obviously, you're going to want to add water into your regular eating. You're going to want to substitute, things like juice or pop or even flavored water for just regular water. One thing that I do is I put a lemon slice in my water. So that helps to give it some flavor, because even just regular water, guys, I'm going to be completely honest, I have a hard time with that. Other than like working out when I'm just chugging water, I rather have a lemon slice in it. There's a few tricks that I've used to be able to up my water intake, and I can share that with you guys if you need it. I'll actually just send it to you by email. It's a blog where I wrote, like, you know, different things that you can do. Put it in a water bottle with a straw, or a water bottle that you can't see through, because then your brain is like, it's really things just to trick your brain, to tell your brain like, no, I'm not drinking water, but it really is water. So you want to make sure that you're going to be increasing your water intake while you're, you know, going about your day. So if you look at the meal plan and template that I provided to you, so on there, it does say you do not want to skip meals, because when you skip meals, as I just said, your body's going to be looking for those nutrients. It's going to be looking for that food. And eventually when you do give it food, instead of burning it off, it's going to hold on to it because it doesn't know when it's going to get more food. So by eating every 2 to 3 hours, you're kind of preparing your body like, hey, you're going to get food all the time. So you don't need to hold on to this. Just keep using it for what you normally would use it for. When it comes to proteins, you want to choose 2 to 3 proteins that you're going to mix and match throughout your week for your lunches and your suppers, right? You can also have some for your snacks. So let's say like Greek yogurt is a really good protein to have. So you can think of that as well. For your side dishes, that's usually where you're going to have your carbs, right? So you're going to want to think again, 2 to 3 different variations to mix it up with your lunches and your suppers. Or if you want a snack with, I don't know, some crackers or something, or sweet potato, that would be an option as well. For your vegetables, same thing, 2 to 3 different variations that you can plug and put them in either your lunches or your supper for the week. And then for your breakfast items, well, you're going to be making your breakfasts based on what you like. So either you can add some vegetables in there, you could do a protein in, it'd be really good to have a protein in there. You'd want to have a carb because you want to have your carbs earlier throughout the day, and also your fruits. So you're going to be thinking about those different food categories when you're doing your breakfast menu. And then for your snacks, as I said, you know, play around with it. You have 2 snacks every single day, so you're going to want more variety. So 2 to 3 might not be enough, but you might want to think of something like 4 to 5. And then that way you just plug it into your meal plan and template, and you'll be able to create your meals for the entire week for the family. So that is what I wanted to explain to you guys about the different food groups and why they're important for you, and how that relates to the meal planning that you're going to be doing for your family. So tomorrow I will come back to you guys with meal prepping. How exactly do we tackle the infamous scary meal prepping, which is really not that scary, guys. You're going to see. I'm going to give you some of my tips, some of my tricks, and hopefully that's going to help you for when you need to plan it out for yourself. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to either post it in the comments, send me an email, send me a message, and I'll be very happy to answer you. All right, take care. Bye.